So, first one I wanted to watch was this Hasan video. Um, America and Israel might be in trouble. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he's Cope-Maxxing or if it's how how accurate we think it'll be. So, let's go ahead and go.
Statement number 8 by IRGC. Based on the continuous sound of ambulance sirens at American and Zionist bases, as well as field reports and intelligence monitoring, a psychological crisis unfolding among U.S. forces and Zionist settlers.
Oh, this is on a fan channel, by the way. I don't always wait for Hasan's real content to come up on his channel. Also, I don't really watch I don't really watch a whole bunch of live streams on Twitch, so unless he starts streaming more on YouTube, I don't really watch his stuff live. So, but
it emphasized that sustained and targeted pressure by Iran's armed forces will further intensify conditions for them. Missile and drone operations will continue in a sustained and comprehensive manner, and further operational achievements will be announced to the Iranian people. This right here, this is, if this is like the maximum amount of damage that Iran can put down, if this is the maximum amount of damage Iran can put down, and they can sustain this for an extended period of time, it's not great for America or Israel. Okay? If they have more in the tank, and they can actually increase the intensity, oh boy, it's really fucked. It is really, really bad for America and Israel. Okay? One of the reasons why I'm saying this is because this is not like the 12-day war at all. Okay? During the 12-day war, it took quite a while for Iran.
Yeah, that was what I was saying before, is they were ready. They're so much more ready for this one. They weren't having any of our bullshit. They didn't believe, they didn't believe that we were being honest negotiators or anything. So I think it was, I think the response was much swifter than it was last time, and a lot more comprehensive as well, especially going after all the different targets.
Iranian missiles to actually start penetrating the Iron Dome. Iran struck an area in occupied Palestinian territory earlier this morning. 6 hours ago, Iranians struck a bomb shelter. The number of deaths at the time that were confirmed had risen to 8 settlers. We think the number is even higher than that. Okay? If Israelis can know...
Just for the record, the number is always higher. Israel conceals their stuff like crazy. Very, very... they're very sensitive about the information they release to the public about casualties and stuff.
No longer feel safe inside of their bomb shelters. That changes the risk profile for Israel overnight, instantaneously.
That's true.
Their appetite for death and destruction,
I didn't even really think about that.
For the broader Israeli public, also comes from the fact that they have always felt protected. During the 12-day war, you had a bunch of old people. There was some debris that fell. There were a couple people died. I believe it was like around 30 people. But for the most part, society was in a state of panic for sure, but
it also recovered very quickly last time. We'll see if that happens again this time, because the damage will be much more significant, I think, especially if it goes on for multiple weeks, like they said at the beginning of on that tweet that they had at the beginning.
They weren't in a state of real panic. It's the same principle with the United States of America. America is sheltered from the impact of its actions, with the very little exceptions like 9/11, right? Blowback in the form of 9/11 was one of the very few instances where America actually received some consequences for all of their meddling in the affairs of the Middle East. This is the same with Israel. October 7 was part.
But even that was different. That was an isolated incident by a resistance group. This is a entire state. This is a state actor who is firing back for once on American interests. This does not happen very often nowadays.
Part of that equation for sure. and once again, with the working knowledge that America would protect them and they would have unlimited weapons and they could just like go and wreak havoc around the region, they were still very comfortable. They were still very comfortable, right? This takes away that comfort. This takes away that comfort entirely. If they keep throwing salvo upon salvo, and the number of Israelis that die as a consequence of those ballistic missiles increases, all of a sudden the calculation changes dramatically because,
well, and also, like I said, if we are no longer in control of when the de-escalation happens, that changes all future analysis by Israel. Every single, war that they do in the future, they have to think, we might not be able to end it whenever we want. It'll be potentially up to Iran or whoever. They're fighting everyone, right? So whoever they're fighting, it might be up to them to end. So, like, the controlling the de-escalation here, I think, it seems like Iran is, taking my advice or whatever on this one. We'll see what happens.
For once, Israel is the recipient of all of their death dealing. For once, they actually see penalties in the heartland. That does not happen normally. And they don't have the same appetite for war all of a sudden. Because now society is collapsing. Now it's unstable. This is in some ways an advantage that, Palestinians have over the Israelis. True. Because all they've known is living devoid of any sort of bomb shelter whatsoever. All they've known is death and destruction. So there is
I mean, it's like that old canard. I think it's like a white supremacist thing or something. But in some respects, there's a little bit of truth in it, about hard times bringing weak people bring hard times, like all that sort of shit. Basically, I mean, the Palestinians suffering, like living through as much suffering as they have, has bred the, some of the most resilient people, because they have to be. There's nothing else, like, there's no other option. You have to be resilient or you die. Like, so they're some of the most resilient people in the world. And Israel, essentially, being very much like America, is just like a bunch of fat cops who like think that they're strong because they can beat up innocent people or whatever. And they're like, when they get even a slight form of pushback, especially from like someone of, significant state power like Iran, it's like, oh, wait a second, like they'll fold, I think, a lot easier potentially. But it also depends how much, how lost in their own sauce they are for how willing they'll be to take these casualties. But usually the people committing the apartheid and stuff have very little tolerance for pain.
A lot more punishment that they can withstand, even if they don't want to, because there's no fucking other alternative. They've never actually seen another alternative. For Israel, they've never experienced this. Israeli society has never actually seen an endless amount of missiles coming in their direction where they're no longer safe inside of their bomb shelters. Okay? This causes the calculation to change dramatically, especially in a country with supremacist attitudes, with supremacist values. Okay?
Which, by the way, it is a war crime if if there were no actual military targets in there, like calling a spade, it is a war crime to do that. But, Israel already destroyed all semblance of international law in Gaza, so it's like war crime what? War crime who? Like, what's that, So it's going to be hard for them to find sympathy if they try to bring this to the UN or something. So, yeah, it is what it is.
In some ways, Israeli comfort for the longest time is leading to Israeli weakness. Because they talk about how strong they are of a nation state, how proud they are, and how militant they can be, and how they can punish anyone and everyone, no matter, no matter how people respond or whatever. But the reality of the matter is, they're not used to this shit.
Oh,
Look.
Shit. Some motherfucking rocket! Oh my...
Dude, Americans are so funny.
And yes, the same could be said.
Can you imagine, like, being over there and, like, there's endless rounds of bombs being lobbed at the city that you're at, and just being out on your high-rise balcony being like, bro, look at that. Do you see that shit? Bro, I gotta get this for my TikTok, man. Like, it's wild. American expats in Israel are insane.
About Americans as well. Which, by the way, ironically, this guy is an American
I
living in
assumed.
Israel. 4 people were killed by an Iranian ballistic missile impact in Beit Shemesh. Magen David Adom says footage shows the moment of the impact.
Oh shit! Some motherfucking rocket! Oh my...
I was a little early on the explosion sound on that one, but
This just happened too. Footage posted to social media shows what could be a submunitions from an Iranian cluster bomb warhead crashing down on Israel this evening amid a ballistic missile attack. Videos show some 24
always
fragments
take that with a
shooting
grain
through
of
the sky.
salt.
Now, before we get into the condemnations and
The Twitter military analysts, like, when they say it's something, it's this or this, they're using these munitions, or it arrived in this amount of time, so that means it's this. Always take that with a grain of salt. It's usually a bunch of, keyboard warriors who think they know a lot more than they do. But I mean, I'm not saying I don't know shit about military stuff, so like, who am I to talk? But this stuff is like 50-50 whether you can trust a Twitter person to actually accurately determine what's going on.
international law. This is one of the consequences of severely violating international law. When you have a sovereign nation state who you open up a new fucking theater of war with, that has a fuck ton of missiles, and your opening salvo is the decapitation strike of the entire leadership structure, they're gonna fucking say, all right, well, you don't give a shit about international rule-based order or international laws whatsoever. We're not gonna give a shit about it too. That's the other side of this story.
That sounds better.
This is part of the reason why you're supposed to abide by the rules, right? You're supposed to abide by the rules of conflict. You go in, you kill a fucking bunch of, you shoot up a school.
Yeah, the rules were created, like, in the sense of, like, people not being given complete and total impunity. But because we allowed that to happen, like, obviously the rules were going to get violated.
In the most American
have
and
no one to
Israeli
blame but
fashion, by
ourselves.
the way, America loves its own indigenous school shootings, its own domestic school shootings, and America loves doing school shootings with their bombs overseas. Some school children are gonna die, right? It's just, we have an endless appetite for murdering children.
It's our
We just have
primary
to do it.
export.
But when you do
Our
that,
primary export is child murder.
and you force people into a corner, just like the Palestinians on October 7 or leading up to October 7, they're going to say, all right, we got to fucking fight out of this corner. We got to fight our way out of this goddamn corner. And that's precisely what's happening right now. For years and years, I have said, you got to stop. You got to stop. You can't do this. These violent designs will lead to violent ends. Okay? There will be a violent conclusion.
Oh, wait, I don't
My
wanna do
sibling
that
is
one.
studying overseas in one of the Israeli cities that's getting bombed to shit, and even though I wish she wasn't in Israel, I'm terrified for her. Exactly. Like, this is... And while Benjamin Netanyahu gets to fucking fly out to Berlin, potentially, I don't know if that's real or
Oh,
not,
yeah.
right? You know, your sister is stuck.
That's crazy. If
And
that's
now-
true, like, if that's true, I mean, I always knew that, like, our leaders were cowards, right? And Benjamin Netanyahu, he's basically the same as, like, any American leader. Like, but, like, that he would just abandon the country like that is, like, I hope that like after this, they like put his head on a pike or something, but I don't think they will. I don't know. The Israelis are so docile when it comes to their leaders being cowards. Like their leaders just abandoning the people or whatever. They're never going to rise up, and neither are we for that matter. Like U.S. is, never going to hold their people accountable either. But
now the bomb shelters are not working. Okay. This was seen on Nablus, bro. It's raining bombs. Yeah, they're using fragmentation warheads, cluster striking, cluster munitions. These are unpredictable.
Maybe.
These don't actually fucking go. I mean, that could just be pieces that.
We'll see if there's an impact. I didn't see any impact.
That could be debris from interception, but everybody thinks, even if it's cluster bombs, you have to understand something. Everybody fucking thinks only America and Israel get to deploy these weapons. Do you understand? Like, this is something that America and Israel has utilized. As a matter of fact, the Iranian retaliation so far has not even remotely met the standard of what Israel has done to Palestine, what
That's
Israel
true.
has done to every other country, what Israel has done to
Nothing will
Lebanon,
ever meet that
deploying
standard.
phosphorus,
I mean, not
right?
in the near term.
Chemical warfare, things of that nature. So, like, I need you to understand something. The only reason why we were comfortable violating the rules of law is because we thought no one else would do it to people in the core. And now there is a fraction of that taste in the core. A taste of their own medicine.
It's funny that Israel's is like their taste of, getting hit with a, small semblance of what they dish out or whatever is like them getting hit with bombs or whatever. An American small taste and what it's like to go to war is going to be like their gas going from like $3 to $4 a gallon. Like yeah, that's going to hurt people's pocketbooks or whatever, energy going up, and it will, like, it's very expensive here already or whatever, but I don't know. It's just like we're so insulated, it's insane from the real actual consequences of war.
What? You break BDS? I have no sympathy? What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up, chatter. Jesus Christ, you're so moral, okay? You're so moral. You're right. What, that fucking Chatter's sister who's working in a school to die then? Shut up. You're a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Reuters confirms the plane is in Germany. Israel has flown its official government aircraft to Germany. It's parked for safety at Berlin's airport. Government sources said after U.S. and Israeli strikes killed Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and plunged the region into conflict. Media citing reports from Flight Radar 24 flight tracking service said the aircraft departed Israel early on Sunday.
And they're so shameless. I just cannot believe how shameless they are to do this. To like start this war and then just abandon their country immediately. It would be like if in Twilight, or not in Twilight, I say Twilight, in Titanic. Oh my God. I can't believe I did that. But in Titanic, when the captain is like, goes down with his ship all like righteously, right? Like he's like, I was the captain, I'm gonna go down with the ship. It would be like, instead of that, if like he started like clawing and punching children out of the way so that he could get on a lifeboat. Like, they have no shame.
Saturday afternoon, circled over the Mediterranean before flying into Germany in the evening. The flight had been registered in advance by the Israeli government. The government source said, adding that the only crew members were on board. Israel State Aircraft Wing of Zion is a Boeing 767 that has been specially equipped for official government trips.
Wait, the government source said that only crew members were on board. What? So he wasn't on it then?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I think Benjamin Netanyahu is in Berlin. I think they're acting like it was just the crew that escaped in the wing.
Yeah, well, if Hasan thinks so, then I gotta think so. We all on the left, we abide by everything he said. I mean, it's maybe I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't put it past them. Like, they are cowards.
Wing of Zion, I think he's absolutely in fucking Berlin now. Oh my God. Yesterday I was saying there's no shot he like escaped to fucking Berlin. He's in the Hitler bunker, bro. Benjamin Netanyahu's in the Hitler bunker. Oh! Oh! Ain't no fucking way. He's Führer-Maxxing.
Führer-Maxxing.
He's in the Führer bunker.
Oh my God.
Rip out the fucking ICC warrant right now. Slap him.
They're
Slap
not
him
going
with
to do
it.
that.
Take the Hitler exit now. Okay. I didn't want to believe
Germany protected Hitler once. They're going to protect Hitler again. Don't worry.
this yesterday. I thought that was a little, that's a little bit much, but maybe he is.
By the way, someday someone has to do an analysis on like how Germany just manages somehow to defy all odds and always be on the wrong side of history. Like it's like a 1 in 2 chance, right? If you're just going probability wise, like they're wrong in World War One, they're wrong in World War II, and now they're going to be wrong in World War III. It's like there's something in their blood that just makes them be on the wrong side of history all the time. I don't get it.
They did release this video of him today.
סיימתי עכשיו פגישה עם שר הביטחון, הרמטכ"ל וראש
Pre-record.
המוסד. נתתי הנחיות להמשך המערכה.
Yeah, I don't believe it. As
Pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. Pre-recorded. That motherfucker's in Berlin, bro.
There's no way he would be out on this balcony right now if there were still bombs coming.
Oh, pre-recorded. AI pre-recording. Netanyahu's
It's nice to know that our military is getting the most out of their Anthropic budget, putting out these AI videos.
says Trump fulfilled his dreams in bombing Iran. Israel now is the assistance of the United States. My friend, U.S. President Donald Trump of the U.S. military. This coalition of forces allows us to do what I have yearned to do for 40 years. You know what's really fucking crazy about this?
40 years. That's what I said earlier.
When I say this, motherfuckers go, excuse me, aren't you being a little anti-Semitic, Hasan? And then he just comes out and says it. It's so funny. Like,
No, Hasan, you don't understand. When you say it, you're saying it anti-Semitically. When he says it, he's saying it anti-Semitically. You got to understand this.
I say it, you say it, everybody goes, excuse me, don't you feel like, don't you feel like this is a little bit too anti-Semitic of you to say? It's like, motherfucker, he's saying it! What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? Not observe reality so your sensibilities remain intact? Are you fucking stupid? At some point, you got to recognize what's going on, right? It's crazy to me. It's actually crazy. There's literally people on Blue Sky that were watching American and Israeli bombs blow up school children in Iran, and they were like, you know what the worst part about this is? My fucking feelings. Okay? I feel like this is creating an environment of anti-Semitism because a lot of people are cognizant of the reality, the dynamic between Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah. Liberals always get up in their feet, all up in their fifis whenever a war starts.
And the current American president, Donald Trump. What the fuck do you want me to do? Lie? You want me to be like, no, actually, guys, no, Donald Trump totally is not being fucking duped by Israeli intelligence, Benjamin Netanyahu. The 700 times that Benjamin Netanyahu came to the United States of America leading up to this incident had nothing to do with what's going on right now. He just totally came to that conclusion on his own. Even though his own generals were like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. We're going to run out of fucking munitions. China is looking at this, salivating. China is literally watching.
I don't really care what online people say. Like they're just always trying to stoke divisions and like anti-liberation politics and all that stuff. They don't have any. They're not trying to be truthful at all. They're purely reactionary, and so I don't take anything they say very seriously, and I know he doesn't either, but it's kind of pointless to
all of our moves
to.
here. They're developing tremendous surveillance capabilities, and they know what our defense systems look like. They literally are going to have an accurate tabulation of how little missiles we have, Which, by the way, there's no indication that China's going to do anything, but just still, that's still an operational weakness, right? Later down the line. And they were trying to fucking tell Trump that, and Trump's like, no, no. BB told me I'd be a legend.
That's not
Operation
president.
Fortnite Big Chungus commence. It's gonna be all right. Some Americans are gonna
Big
die,
Chungus.
but that's a price I'm willing to pay.
Oh, yeah, I did see that, like, apparently 3 Americans died. I don't know anything about that. I don't know how that happened, where that happened. I am very curious, like, because I know we took all of our people out from all of the bases before it even started, so I really have no idea where they were that they got hit, unless they were actually in Israel, which maybe they were. I'm sure that we have American military in Israel, showing them how to load up all the bombs in their fighter planes and stuff or whatever, so maybe.
Like, that's what fucking happened. That's what's happening. It's happening right now. Motherfuckers would be like, bro, don't you dare say something that hurts my feelings. Okay, change your
I missed
fucking
something
attitude.
here.
That's not my problem. You know? POTUS, the Daily Mail. This is from Kaylin Collins. It's always been a 4-week process. We figured it will be 4 weeks or so. It's always been about a 4-week process or so. As strong as it is, it's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks or less.
4 weeks. Just 4 weeks. 4 weeks and then we'll be done.
Oh, by the way, Trump seeks swift end to Iran operations. Oh
That's
shit,
Ynet.
Iran got...
That's Ynet. Ynet saying that? Like, Ynet, as far as I know, is a super, super right-wing, like, rag. It's like the New York Post of Israel.
hands is literally what happened in the last 24 hours. They went from Iran is going to fucking collapse. Iran is going to collapse instantaneously. The Iranian people are going to rise.
This is fast. This is faster than it happened with Iraq. Like, because in Iraq it was like, okay, we'll be done in like weeks, is what they said at first, and then months. You know, like after a couple weeks, they're like, well, it might actually take months or whatever. This one, we said it would take days, and then literally like what, less than 48 hours into it, we're like, it's actually going to take weeks. And I'm sure once we get a couple weeks in, they're like, well, it might take months and it might actually take boots on the ground. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's just how it's gone every other time that we've gotten involved in Middle East wars. So
Up and like murder the fucking IRGC commanders themselves and take over the government and hand over the fucking ballistic missiles to Israel and America because they love our pedophilic cabal. They love them. They're demanding to be fucking cattle to the petro-capitalist pedophilia cabal that has destroyed every country in their fucking vicinity thus far. They're definitely gonna do that for us. And then all of a sudden that doesn't happen and they're like, whoa, what the fuck? Yo! This shit's not like Hezbollah in Lebanon at all, a country that doesn't even have anti-aircraft defenses, okay?
well,
A
Iran
paramilitary formation
barely has that as well.
that has
but-
its own parliamentary party in Lebanon that was trying to do their very best with the limited amount of logistical support they got from Iran is not the same as the fucking Iranian government, it turns out. They thought it was going to be like a Hassan Nasrallah situation. It turns out it's not a Hassan Nasrallah situation. Wait till markets open in 3 hours. Trump is going to jump for Iran.
We'll see. I'm curious what
Your
the
entire
markets are going
analysis
to
is
look
based
like.
on the assumption that Iran is able to sustain this level of damage while U.S. Israel continues to destroy their missile launchers and that U.S. does not escalate further. Brother, my entire analysis...
We can't escalate further. Like, America doesn't do that. They don't, like, strategically save things. I mean, I guess a nuke, but, like, they don't strategically save things, like, for future. Like, that's China shit. That's, like, Iran shit. America is the dominating empire. The way that they work is they will try to create as much spectacle as possible at the very beginning in order to try to get this shit over with as fast as possible. Everybody knows we can't do long wars. Like, we haven't been able to do long wars since, like, pre-Vietnam. Like, so everybody understands that we need all of our wars to be short. And so that's how America organizes all of its military campaigns, is it it tries to do them as short as possible. And anytime it keeps going on longer than they want, they're at real risk. There is real risk. I'm not saying, like, we don't know for sure how long Iran can keep up this level of, like, firing. But if it is multiple weeks, if it is months, then at some point we're going to run out of missile interceptors, and the damage will just skyrocket. So
analysis on this is that there is an operational failure, because I'm looking at what the American government has said thus far. Do I think that America and Israel don't have the capacity to escalate things further? Are you fucking stupid? That's my expectation. And if I have that expectation, I'm certain Iran probably is aware of it too. I don't think they're going, oh, we're really fucking cooking here. I know that. Do you think that's a solution? Do you think that's smart?
I don't know if I agree. Like, I don't know. Like, we always use all of as many airstrikes as possible, as many planes as possible right from the beginning. Like, that's what we always do. So I don't know, maybe they can escalate. But long wars always turn out to, like, our manufacturing versus their manufacturing. Like, eventually they have to slow down.
Do you think that actually ends up leading to America's goals being achieved? Hey Fatso, are you botting again? Your analysis sucks. Sorry, guys.
What a great comment.
Hold on, I'm gonna do the quick.
One day, man. If one day I can just get one hater, like, that's when I know I've made it. If I just get one hater that says some shit like that to me, like, I'll be like, yes, finally. Thank you, hater.
Quick power hour real quick. First of all, Fatso, that's insane. Secondly, here, let me do the quick power hour for the guys who want the same thing that they hear from CNN or Fox News. Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time.
Please.
Donald Trump and Israel are our masters, and we are but mere servants to Donald Trump and Israel. They're doing the very best they can. Iran is the greatest enemy of mankind. Iran is terrifying. Am Israel high. I love Israel. I think any moment the Iranian regime will collapse. Let's tune into our Tel Aviv expert to also say the exact same things, but with an Israeli accent. And yeah, breaking news. I've heard that Israel's the most moral nation, and also all of the little girls that were killed in the Iranian school at the beginning of the school day on a Saturday morning, which is like the Monday for Iran. They all actually were high-ranking IRGC commanders that killed 17 million Iranians. And also...
and don't forget all of the missiles they had in that school.
55 million Syrians, as a matter of fact. And they probably deserved it because they were all reading what? My sources tell me the Iranian schoolgirls aged 7 and 12 were reading Mein Kampf, as a matter of fact. It's
crazy.
Is that good? Is that what you wanted?
Not only that, they actually stockpiled it. They instead of stockpiling weapons, they took part of their missile budget and they said, hey, we need to import like 20,000 copies of Mein Kampf from Germany, and we need to store it in this school. Like, let's use all of our money on that instead.
Does this analysis make the situation better for you? Can we now get back to fucking reality? Dumbass. Let's look at Trita Parsi and what he had to say about observations and comments from Trump and Israel's war on Iran. 1. Tehran is not looking for a ceasefire and has rejected outreach from Trump. The reason is that they believe they committed a mistake by agreeing to the ceasefire in June. It only enabled the U.S. and Israel to restock and remobilize to launch war again. If they agree to a ceasefire now, they will only be attacked again in a few months. True.
Good analysis.
For a ceasefire to be acceptable, it appears difficult for Tehran to agree to it until the cost of the U.S. has become much higher than it currently is. Otherwise, the U.S. will restart the war at a later point, the calculation reads. It took them fucking years to finally arrive at the conclusion.
Yeah, and this is what I said. This was the mistake they made last time, is they did not control the de-escalation. They're now saying this time we're going to, and so that will reduce the likelihood of future attacks, because then America and Israel will not know that they can stop it whenever they want.
That the only way to get these guys to stop is by engaging in military deterrence. The calculation here on the Iranian side is we can send unlimited barrages of Shahed drones because America is so worried about defending Israel that they are not defending their own fucking bases, and they're not even defending their own soldiers that are living around the bases right now.
Send them all to Israel, all of our missile interceptors. You think we care about American military people dying? No. Every Israeli is worth 2 American service members. That's the equation that they came up with. I saw it one time.
That they can just keep blowing up and cratering every single American military base in the region, while simultaneously also sending their longer range missile systems into Tel Aviv, into the heart of Tel Aviv, over and over and over again. And if they get any, that analysis is incorrect.
Well, and here's why they're going to win regardless with this strategy. Even if they run through their missiles pretty quickly, there's multiple options afterwards. They could have China deliver more. Assuming that China would be willing to do that. They can also produce them domestically, same with like Russia as well, might deliver some, but they can produce them domestically, and they will always be able to outproduce our missile interceptors, because our missile interceptors cost like $1 million a shot, and their drones and stuff cost like 10,000. Like,
if they get what do you mean this analysis is incorrect? Straw manning CNN, not close to accurate. That analysis is incorrect. I don't think it's incorrect at all. They literally said no to a ceasefire. Donald Trump, according to Ynet, tried to get a ceasefire yesterday. Why did they try to get a ceasefire yesterday? Oh, we killed Ayatollah. Come on now. You don't want us to punish you even further, right? That's what the American side is looking at right now. Why the fuck would they want a ceasefire right now? Why would they want a ceasefire right now? They should just keep pummeling Iran, right? That's what they're going to do. They're going to do that anyway. They're going to keep fucking punishing the Iranian population even harder and harder and harder. And at a certain point, basically what will take place is the calculation on the American and Israeli side will change. The American side will change when they'll realize that, like, oh, the Iranian people are not actually rising up. They're not actually overtaking the government. So we have to punish them further with direct bombing. Because the first salvo, the opening salvo, killed a bunch of children, but it could have been much deadlier overall, right? It could have been much deadlier overall, but they didn't do that because they thought, oh, maybe we can get the Iranian population to fucking rise up. They want to talk, and I've agreed to talk, so I'll be talking to them. President Trump tells Michael Schreier, they should have done it sooner. They should have given what was very practical and easy to do sooner. They waited too long. If the Iranian population thinks, which I don't think this is correct, by the way, because senior White House official President Trump said new potential leadership in Iran has indicated they want to talk, and eventually he will talk. For now, Operation Epic Fortnite Chungus continues unabated. I'm told by a source that is exactly the opposite. Trump reached out and Iraqi said no. That would confirm the reporting by Ynet. Even the fact that there's inconsistency on whether or not the Iranians want to talk or not want to talk is indicative of one of two things. Either one, that there's a complete collapse in the governance structure of Iran, and now the horizontal development of the military strategy is completely autonomous from the central governance structure, because guess what? Israel fucking did that. Good job, Israel, right? You killed all the fucking commanders, and they already had a contingency plan that was automatically set in motion. So now you got to fucking deal with that, right? Or the central governance structure is still very much intact, and they have learned from the lessons of trying to deal with Americans in a peaceful manner, but clearly it's not fucking working. Clearly it hasn't worked at all. What does this mosaic defense shit mean? Iran has activated decentralized mosaic defense, giving commanders full autonomy in decision making. What do you mean? That's what it is. It's exactly what you think it is.
I mean,
they have
a
decentralized contingency plan for continuously pummeling whatever their fucking priority targets are over and over again. If something like this, something like a decapitation strike happens, as in they plan it ahead of time. There are contingency plans for what takes place. Oh, you kill the leadership, you kill our general. We're gonna go and sit on top of these fucking missile systems and blow up. For one group it might be blowing up Bahrain. For another group it might be blowing up the UAE. For another group it's actually pummeling Israel. Again, and I keep repeating this over and over again. Their entire governance structure is designed around what is taking place right now.
Well, them and every resistance operation, or like when you have to have these contingencies when you're, working against empire. Like same with Hamas, they have so many contingencies for if this person dies, if that person dies, if too many people at the top die, and we go into decentral sort of like guerrilla warfare mode. Like they have all of that, and like so does Iran, so does Hezbollah or Lebanon, so do the Houthis, I'm sure. Like that's just, you have to have that if you're going up against empire, or else it'll just become chaos as soon as your leadership is taken out. It's just smart.
Now potentially happening. Their entire governance structure, their entire economy, their entire missile production systems, everything is underground. Their missile launchers are underground. Their missile silos are underground. Why do you do that? Well, you do that because you're worried about America eventually coming in and trying to blow up your fucking country.
Maybe they have a pact with the mole people or something.
Your entire governance structure, your operational structure is also divided amongst different groups. They're like siloed in on their own, and they can operate autonomously. Because if America and Israel come in and like fucking kill your generals and your leadership, you don't actually collapse.
Where is this last dude?
Now, this doesn't mean that they will be successful. Okay, this doesn't mean that they will be successful. But what I'm simply saying is, by observing reality, by looking at exactly what is unfolded in front of our eyes in observable reality, that Ayatollah Khomeini's assassination has not yielded the results.
Well, yeah, and what does that mean, them being successful? Like, them being successful is just staying alive, basically, and keeping their sovereignty, I guess. So, we'll see.
That America and Israel thought it would. Judging by Trump's past performance in terms of like quick, swift action, bombing campaigns or kidnapping a head of state, and then being in and out, and then like going to negotiate with whoever remains with a leveraged position, with a better bargaining position, Donald Trump thought, or
I always wonder what the average American is thinking right now, because the average American just is so unaware and so tuned out that they, I'm sure, just woke up and saw that we were at war and were like, what the heck? And I'm like, I don't know how, I don't know, maybe they'll flip sooner rather than later, hopefully, once they see like the cost and stuff. But who knows? Finally got level 90.
Falsely believed that Israel was going to, that Israel was right, and that Iran was going to concede immediately. They were going to be like, oh my God, you killed the Ayatollah. We're so sorry. We don't want our fucking entire government to collapse. We will do anything you want. We will, reduce our ballistic missile capabilities so that we don't hurt Israel's feelings ever again. I think that's what they thought was going to happen. That's why Donald Trump came out day one and literally said, Iranian people, now is the time to rise up. That could still happen. One incredibly scary aspect of America's design here, because it's so fucking repulsive, it's so goddamn evil, is the border. They are also striking the Iranian-Iraqi border right now. There are Kurdish militias inside of Iran and Kurdish militias outside of Iran that are directly equipped and trained by the CIA that are waiting to seize on this opportunity. Okay? They are probably going to try to send in, they're probably going to try to beef up sectarian fighting. And they're gonna utilize, because they don't have any popular mobilization on the ground, they're going to try to make popular mobilization on the ground. So do you support these Kurdish groups as well? Fuck no. What are you, crazy? No, of course not. Of course not. But be on the lookout for all of the coverage about how woke the Kurdish militias are that are trying to liberate Iran in the upcoming weeks.
Classic lib shit. Oh yeah, these Kurdish militias, they just want to come in and let people be gay and let people be trans and let women do the same stuff as men. And they're the liberation force that we deserve. We've heard that a million times. It's the stupidest shit.
Once they start writing about the brave female-only brigades of the Kurds.
And by the way, they're so hot. They're the hottest female military that you'll ever see. Like, that propaganda is so weird to me. They girl boss the military, and then they also sexualize them in really weird ways, in a really patriarchal way, and it's like, I don't know.
That's when you know. How many times do the Kurds have to get fucked over by the American state after being used and abused as a destabilizing force in the fucking region for them to come to terms with the reality that it's not happening? Okay, you will not have an Israel-style Kurdistan. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. You gotta use the arms and training that you got from the Americans against the Americans at some point, against the Israelis at some point. It's just insane. How many fucking Fell for It Again awards do you need? It's crazy, especially after Rojava. It's like, I thought at least Rojava could have the same autonomous structure that you have in Iraq. Turns out America did not want that at all. They just did not even remotely consider that at all. And I genuinely thought, perhaps foolishly, that could have been a thing for the Kurds. They could have been they could have had another autonomous region, and that they could have had they could have been a force of stability in the area as well. Nope. America had a totally separate design for the Kurds there. So I'm sorry, it's a little ridiculous for me to also fucking lean into the destabilization force that they will represent in Iran at the behest of America and Israel. It's
Kalamazzi's got 44 people watching him level. Where's my viewers? Come on. For me, it's 2 for 1. You get me listening to people talk about politics and then also play video games. But
just ridiculous.
I'm not jealous, I swear.
It's rare that I can't yap up a wacky intro, but look.
Everybody's favorite normie.
For the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most
Epic Fortnite Big Chungus.
most overwhelming military
makes me laugh,
offensive
dude.
the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now,
this ugly son
All
of a
their
bitch even took the hat
defenses.
off to take it a little bit more seriously. What happened, bitch? What fucking happened?
announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval
9 chips?
building,
What kind of chip?
all in a matter of
Like
literally
semiconductor
Epstein's
chips?
Fury.
Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah
Formerly Supreme Leader.
Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands, and
Only that many? I think RFK has more than that. RFK Jr. has at least 50,000 deaths on his hand.
Ooh. Yeah, this came in finally. I was wondering when this was going to come in. The IDF. Yep. I was shocked by why Israel was allowing footage of successful Iranian strikes on Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem to be mass released. They even had they even had Israeli journalists. They even had Israeli journalists on scene covering it in English because they thought, I think, that they could garner sympathy. Now they realize nobody is fucking
Nobody
sympathizing
cares.
with them. So they're like, oh shit, we probably should not show how devastating the Iranian strikes are. IDF spokesperson finally reiterates and emphasizes not to publish or share locations.
Dude, nobody does give a shit. Like, that is 100% true. Like, I think a lot of people see this as Israel just getting, you know, a taste of its own medicine. And like, if you compare people's response to this sort of stuff to like their initial response from October 7th, it's like night and day. Like the amount of people who are trying to get this propaganda machine going is so much less, and the rubes that go along with it are just, there's so fewer of them this time around than there was after October 7th, that it really like is night and day. If you were around back then, and if you were politically aware back then, like you know the difference.
Or documentation of impacts. The enemy monitors these documentations in order to improve its strike capabilities.
Was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across
Countless thousands.
many countries.
All the thousands.
Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets.
All over the streets of, I'm being told it's what, Tampa, Iran, and Miami. Oh, all of those Miami Iranians. Oh, they were all over the streets.
His death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something to...
Where's their immunity? Weren't they all given immunity if they all were calling, begging for laying down their arms?
Weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members
I need to know how this
have been
happened.
killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American
What
patriots
happened?
who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives.
But where? Like, where and how? Like, where were they?
We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more.
That's
I can't believe it. I can't believe he's saying that. Like, he's just priming the American public for like a lot of deaths, it sounds like now.
crazy. He's literally saying, "You're fucking cannon fodder." Oh my God, there has to be a military mutiny at some point, right? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Dude.
That's crazy.
That'd be crazy.
Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged.
And maybe the next assassination attempt will be, maybe it'll be someone, you know, someone who is in our military. Maybe they'll have a better shot than all these other bozos.
War against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right, and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with
Never again, everybody. It's never gonna happen again. We're gonna end terrorism this time. You know, the war on terror, that 20-year, 30-year period, that was just, you know, we're just figuring it out. This time there will never be terrorism again.
Weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world.
Dude, I mean, probably most of America still doesn't like the whole death to America thing, but I feel like a lot of Americans at this point are kind of behind the whole death to Israel portion. They're like, yo, can you just like cut that first part? Otherwise, like, then you, I mean, at least all the Groypers and shit, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's so based.
World's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's
Terror?
greatest and most
I love
powerful
that.
nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer.
Send
I once again
Barrett!
urge
Send Barrett! Strap him to a fucking J-Dam!
He's like 7 foot tall, dude.
Send Lindsey Graham! Send his fucking children! How about that? The masses demand it. Baron Targaryen will be leading the vanguard. How about that?
the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death.
Certain.
Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for
Oh, I don't
freedom.
have my dude out.
This is, dude, here is the tactical misstep that America always engages in, and it might still come to fruition. I don't know how fucking hogged out the Iranian population is, okay? But even amongst the people who hate the Ayatollah in Iran, they still fucking hate Israel, okay?
True.
Like, this is not a situation where the guys are like, oh, dude, I hate the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah killed my family. The Ayatollah imprisoned my best friends for like making totally reasonable demands, all this shit. Okay, now bombs are flying overhead at the behest of Israel. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna fucking happen? What about the monarchists? There isn't a robust monarchist movement inside of Iran. And even the monarchist movement inside of Iran thinks that maybe Reza Pahlavi comes back and then they have a secular liberal democracy. But they don't fuck with Israel regardless. My friend interacted with an Iranian woman in Beijing and she told him the Americans are bad. I agree with your analysis here 100%. I know that there are plenty of Iranians in Iran that don't like the Ayatollah. They don't like the Islamic Republic. Okay? I know. But they're also not fucking stupid. Okay? Like, their anger and hatred towards the Ayatollah stems from the fact that the Ayatollahs imprisoned their friends. The Islamic Republic has thrown them in prison, killed them.
Yeah, I mean, and the brutality of a regime is often an indicator of, you know, usually, I mean, sometimes it's internal factors, but a lot of times nowadays it's external factors, aka how much has America fucked with them. Like, the more America fucks with a country, the more brutal their regime gets, and that's like intentional. That's why I hate whenever Democrats go out and they're like, oh, we just want to like the people to rise up, and that's why we're sanctioning them all to shit. And it's like, dude, the people will never be able to rise up. Like, you can't get some sort of democratic revolution under that sort of policy.
Sometimes tortured them, right? Torture their relatives. Okay. Now you have a more swift execution in the hands of the Amer-Israeli imperialists. Who would look at that situation and go, this is great, actually. I love dying. Actually, they did have someone on NPR earlier this morning who straight up said, if I die to American bombs, it's worth it. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to commit to, as long as, you know, the Ayatollah no longer remains.
Rough.
And to me, that is so poetically Shia, okay? You can be the most secular Iranian, but you cannot get the Shia mentality out of the Iranian soul, okay? You are Shia down to the fucking soul if you say some shit like that. Straight up. Straight up. Like, you're like, oh, I'm a secular liberal. I want a democracy. And also, I'm perfectly willing to sacrifice myself for no fucking reason. That right there is the most, no disrespect, I'm not being sectarian at all, but that right there is the most, like, spiritually Shia thing you could say.
To seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there
It's
to help.
up to you.
Thank you. God bless you to
We'll give you
our
all the weapons you
incredible
need.
warriors,
Once
and
you just
God
lay down
bless
your weapons,
the
we'll give
United
you all the
States
weapons you
of
need.
America. Thank you.
Oh, what a time to be alive, folks. Do you think Iran would relent in its attacks if the USA Israel wanted to ceasefire for the Jewish holidays, or is it now too far gone? They have no trust in the USA word. For the Jewish holidays, brother, you know, or sister, you know there is a very important Muslim holiday taking place, and Israel famously loves bombing Muslims during Ramadan, which is currently what's going on right now. It's Ramadan. I don't think oh my God, Kid Starver came out too for the Kid Diddler squad. Let's take a look at what he had to say. Oh, exceptional work. Top class, my good sir. Tell us what you will do, Kid Starver. Show us the way, chap.
God, he's way more entertaining
We
than
are
I
in
am.
unprecedented times, and we will go to war to
He's got
defend
such
Israel's
better
soul.
accents.
in the Gulf and explained that the United Kingdom was not involved in the strikes on Iran.
Cap.
That
Dude,
remains
UK, every single time in the aftermath, we find out that the UK actually was involved. Like, I don't think there's ever been strikes that we've done that we haven't found out in the aftermath that, oh, actually the UK did provide us intel, or, oh, the UK did provide us, like, planes or refueling or whatever. Like, it always comes out in the aftermath that they did. Mark my words, it'll come out in the future that the UK actually did help with these attacks.
the case. Over the last 2 days, Iran has launched sustained attacks across the region at countries who did not attack them. They've hit airports.
They've hit bases. These bases, we don't know how they got there. We don't know who they belong to, but they're hitting these bases in this country, in all of these random countries.
And hotels.
And whoever put these bases there, somehow they kept charging the American bank account, the American debt bank account, and it kept coming out of, our tax dollars. I don't know how they did it, but someone put all these bases there, and they charged it all to the United States bank account.
Where British citizens are staying. This is clearly a dangerous situation. We have at least 200,000 British citizens in the region.
Who started it, Keir
Residents,
Starmer?
families on holiday, and those in transit. I ask all our people in the region to please register your presence and follow Foreign Office travel advice. I know this is a deeply worrying time, and we will continue to do
and who caused it?
to support you.
Who started it, dude?
Our armed forces, who are located across the region,
Mm-hmm.
Pathetic. Maximum cucked. America's cucked by Israel because the American administration is like directly letting Israel do whatever the fuck it wants. And you're cucked by America that is cucked by Israel. You're double cucked. You're not even sitting in the cuck chair in the room. You're sitting in the cuck chair in the room next over, listening in from the wall about America's back walls getting fucking blown out. That's the situation. Have some decency, my good sir. Oh my fucking Lord, dude. You're getting cooked by proxy.
are also being put at risk by Iran's actions. Yesterday, Iran hit a military base in Bahrain, narrowly missing British personnel.
Again, whose military base? Like, you got to answer that question. Whose military base? It was America's military base. It's a valid military target under international law. Like, then don't put your British citizens right next to the American military base.
The death of the supreme leader will not stop Iran from launching these strikes.
Clearly.
Their approach is becoming even more reckless.
Wait, but I thought, wait, hold up. The death of the Iranian leader hasn't stopped them? Wait, I thought it was over, right?
Yeah.
I thought you killed the 86-year-old guy, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, magically, bad guy dead, right? Mission successful, mission accomplished.
By the way, they sent like so many missiles at that thing. Like, dude, I think you could have just like let in like a cold breeze, like just like leave the windows open for a little bit, and he'd probably get pneumonia and die. He was old as fuck.
Accomplished. We throw out the banners.
Would have been a lot cheaper.
Did no one tell the IRGC that their leader is dead and they have
They're
to put their
liberated.
arms down now? Isn't that how that goes?
The IRGC is
I
liberated.
thought this severe escalation, this severe violation of all of the rules of warfare was for ultimately a good purpose, right? I thought America going in alongside Israel and executing a head of a sovereign nation was going to lead to prosperity. I'm so confused. What's going on? What's going on? I thought it was going to be fine, and now Donald Trump is coming out and saying some of you are going to die for Israel, and
Who could have predicted it? Nobody
you're going to have
in
to
the
like
world.
it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Kind of feels like none of these leaders actually have our interests in mind at all, and simply have the interests of one nation state in mind. And it's very strange to me.
And more dangerous to civilians.
Yeah, all the NatSec guys are basically doing this. Guy who's been a NatSec analyst for 50 years. Well, Wolf, I would say that now we've captured Iran's king, and we have checkmated Tehran, and it's actually cheating for them to keep playing.
Yeah.
Straight up. They just keep every NatSec guy is basically saying that over and over again on television. Every Democrat's like, I hate Donald Trump, but honestly, he did the world a service by assassinating the Ayatollah. It was so sick. The Ayatollah is ruthless. He's brutal. We love delivering democracy. Motherfucker, Trump is not even saying that. Like, Donald Trump is literally 3 minutes away from just coming out and being like, I love Israel. I love Israel is the only country I care about. There's no other country in the world that I care about other than Israel. And honestly, if you don't love Israel as much as I do, then you're a bad guy. You're an anti-Semite. You need to get in the coffin now. You need to die to a Shahed drone strike for Israel. And Democrats are still running around talking like there's some other alternative purpose here, that it's actually a good thing that this happened. The fuck are we doing?